Good morning, everyone. It is pre-dawn right now. The sun is about to come up, and I am in Florida. I made a weekend trip down here with my dad to look for snakes, and we're really hoping to turn up some of the awesome king snakes in this region, but there's also tons of other cool stuff here like mud snakes, dusky pygmies, coral snakes, diamondbacks, all sorts of cool diversity here. So we're just hoping to see some of that this trip. We're going to be here for basically 2 days, going to get an Airbnb down here so we can stay overnight. So looking forward to turning up some stuff this weekend, but I'll keep you guys posted. We're going to start off the day by road cruising a little bit, so I will check in with you guys if we see something. Well guys, there we go. First snake of the trip, a beautiful corn snake right here, just starting to come onto the road. Really good looking one. This thing is absolutely glowing sitting here in the road. Whoa! Dang. Got some attitude. Grumpy corn snake. Anyways, we're just gonna escort this guy off the road. Pretty good way to start the day. Hopefully there's plenty more snakes to come. It's really hot already. It's about 80 degrees and the sun's really just now starting to come up good, so might warm up pretty quickly, but hopefully we'll have a nice burst of movement this morning. All right, buddy, let's get you off the road in the direction you were going. I know you want to bite. Chill. Man, that's awesome. Really good looking snake. Go on. Back in the swamp. All right, guys, it's been a couple hours. We saw another dead corn snake, but the temperature's still pretty mild. It's only 82, and we've got fantastic cloud cover. Couldn't be better weather for day cruising, so we're gonna keep at it. We're on this beautiful road through the pine forest, just driving around hoping to see some snakes, so. Oh, looky there, our next snake of the day. Wow, look at that. That is a beautiful little dusky pygmy rattlesnake. That's a good one. Hey, could you stop trying to kill me? Thanks. Look at that head twitch. He is not happy about the fact that we found him. He's going. Whoa, whoa, whoa. A jumpy little guy, but man, he is beautiful. Look at that. Duskies aren't quite as strikingly colored as Carolinas, but they're still really great looking snakes, and I think they're very underrated by rattlesnake enthusiasts. Well, I'm just gonna move this little beauty off the road now that we've gotten a couple quick photos and keep moving. It feels great out, and apparently the snakes are out in half decent numbers. We saw a dead corn snake too, so stuff's out. All right, guys, it's warming up nicely. We just cruised our next snake of the day. He flew off the road, but there's a cottonmouth down in there. We're gonna pull him out and get some photos of him here in a second. There we are. He's a gaper too, nice. I wish I would have gotten him flying off the road on film. It was funny. He couldn't get any traction. He was just flopping in the middle of the road. Awesome. Well, we're just gonna let this guy go back into his ditch and keep cruising. I'm good. Look at this beautiful habitat. Just moving this girl off the road back to her ditch she fled to. Anyways, gonna leave her right there and keep cruising. All right, guys, next snake, we were driving down this little 2-track dirt road and stopped to look at this little creek right here, and I was poking around some rocks there. Spotted this guy. This is a good looking example of the brown chin racer. He actually has a white chin, but he does have a little bit of a brown lip, which is where they get their name. Probably a little bit of an intergrade between the southern black and brown chin racer with this guy. Anyways, pretty cool. It's a different subspecies than, I think this might be one of the first one of these I've shown you guys, maybe some babies in one of my earlier videos from this region, but kind of neat, different from the racers that we had back home. So I'm gonna get some quick photos and let him go. All right, buddy, I'm just gonna leave you right there. He's got a nice little pond side situation here that he was hunting frogs in, I'm assuming. That right there is a pygmy. Hey there. Ooh, you're nice. You're so nice. I love them. Pygmy number 2 for the day. Look at that tail. Whoa! Damn. Oh, 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 oh. Well, it's almost noon now, so this might be the last snake we turn up before we go grab lunch, but it's a pretty good one. 2 pygmies so far today, and I'd wager we'll probably see more this afternoon. Another thing to note about this guy is he actually has a pretty impressive little rattle for a pygmy. Look at that thing. Their rattles are almost completely absent in most snakes, but this guy's got a nice little string on him. So right up there, you can see the post where that last pygmy was. Drive a little bit further up the road, there's another one. I almost ran this one over. Oh, you can kind of see how big he is stretched out there. You look like another diamondback. I kept thinking they're baby diamondbacks, but nope, just pygmies. Awesome. Look at this guy. He is not happy with us. Really doing the whole twitchy. Oh, oh, oh. Alrighty, pygmy number 3 for the day. This is definitely the darkest one yet. He's not necessarily ugly. He's still a pretty good looking snake, but not as colorful. Anyways, gonna move him off the road and keep moving. Alright guys, just grabbed some oysters here on the coast. Alright guys, after lunch, it's a balmy 93 degrees out here right now, and we just cruised our next herp. There's a big Gulf Coast box turtle right there. So viewed from the top, this looks like a pretty typical eastern box turtle, but the cool thing about this subspecies, they're huge. This thing is the size of a small gopher tortoise. And he's gonna be a typical box turtle, it looks like, hanging out in his shell, but look at the size of that thing. This is actually a pretty well-patterned one for a Gulf Coast. They can be a pretty ugly subspecies of box turtle, or not ugly, but they're dull. They don't generally have this much pattern, so it's kind of cool to see one with this much color on him. But good-looking turtle. We're going to escort this guy off the road, and it is a guy, and keep cruising. It's 93 degrees out, and these guys are out. All right, well, this guy doesn't want to come out for us, so I'm just going to escort him to the other side of the road in the wood line over here, and we're going to keep on cruising. There's a gator in the road. Well, that guy went flying off the road, but as you can see, we've had a pretty drastic change in weather. It's drizzling a little bit, and there's actually some thunderstorms coming in, so hopefully we can stay dry and continue herping, but we might end up getting rained out a little. Guess we're gonna go hang out in the hotel room until it stops raining. It kind of rained a lot, so I'm not too sure how the rest of our night's gonna go, but we're gonna get out and cruise around, hoping to at least see some nature scenes, water snakes, things of that sort, but hopefully it'll bring other snakes out too, we'll see. All right, guys, first snake of the night, big, pretty eastern garter snake. Really cool looking, way different from the ones we saw earlier this year up by me and up in the mountains, but kind of got a greenish color to him. He's putting on a good show for us too. Look at that. Anyways, snakes are out, so we're gonna move this guy off the road and keep cruising. Well, the next snake of the night was a ribbon snake, but it got off the road. But here's another garter, another nice, weird-looking red one here. Here's a new species for the day, and surprisingly, it took this long to find one. This is a little banded water snake. These tend to be the most common snake we see down here a lot of times, so we're probably gonna get some more tonight. I'm just gonna escort this little guy off the road. Well, it's been hours since we saw a snake. We had a huge burst of activity right as it started to get dark, and then it just died until now. It's about, I think probably around 10 o'clock, about 2.5 hours or so after dark. And this cottonmouth is the first snake we've seen since, I guess the last thing you guys would have seen was the second garter snake maybe. So, yeah, it's been pretty slow since that little burst of activity, but nice cottonmouth right here. We're gonna start making our way back towards the hotel. We've got a long drive though, so we've got plenty of habitat to drive through, and we're gonna stop and shine some creeks too, so hopefully we'll see some more stuff. But we're gonna escort this guy off the road and keep moving. All right, a few minutes after the cottonmouth, we get our first look at one of these guys. This is a ribbon snake. I think these are peninsula ribbon snakes here, but first one of the night that I've actually gotten to film for you guys. I saw one that got off the road, and we've seen a bunch of dead ones, but look at him swiggity swooting. Anyway, snakes are still out pretty late tonight, so we're gonna keep at it. All right, guys, we're out here shining around a little bit. There's terrifying noises coming from deep in the forest, but there's a sleeping green anole right there. Kind of interesting. Nothing crazy, but it's always nice to see those guys while you're shining around. But we're just stopping at creek crossings. There's another anole over there, checking them, looking for snakes. So hopefully we'll turn something up before we get back to town. There's the first snake we've managed to shine. There's a brown water snake anchored to this log right here, way out there in the open. I'm not going to be able to get to him, but you guys have seen those in my other videos. But pretty cool looking Nerodia. especially this one. He's got like bands on the front half. It's kind of interesting. But anyways, we're gonna leave that guy right there. Here's another brown water snake. This guy's just sitting on the bottom right here in front of me, so I might can actually get him. Okay. At last, I find a turtle. Whoa! If I can avoid eating shit. Look at that. I'm not even entirely sure what I have here, but I think this is just a really old loggerhead musk. Alright guys, well after we saw those Nerodia last night, the night kind of winded down. We cruised back to the hotel, didn't see anything else. And got a little bit of sleep, and we're back out here the next morning. It's cloudy again. It's looking like the sun might peek through a little bit, but I think it's going to be another rainy day here. So we're probably going to cruise until it starts raining, and then we're going to head back to Georgia. So hopefully we'll get a nice little burst of activity here before the rain hits. We'll see. Well, it took a while, but here's our first snake of the day. Another good-looking little pygmy. Just hanging out right here on the shoulder of this paved road. I'm gonna escort him off and keep on moving though. This is the 4th one of the trip. Another good looking one though. Nice orange on this guy. Well, it seems like these guys are about the only thing that's out right now. I've lost a couple off the road, but here's another one. A little baby brown chin racer. Long and skinny. All the others have taken off the second we start to approach them. These guys are really dark when they hatch out. A lot of the baby racers up by us, I mean, I guess they could have been around a while. They darken up with age, but the ones like up by where I live are usually more like this front part down the whole body for about a year, really. Oh. Hey, buddy. All right, buddy. Oh, you were going this way, weren't you? Go. Woo. Another one. This is the 3rd one in about 10 minutes. Look at that. This one's also just content to chill. Little baby brown chin racers. Go on. Get out of the road. Go on. Finally, something that isn't a baby racer, and it is probably the nicest pygmy of this trip so far. Goodness gracious, he's nice and blue. Man, that was a sharp-looking pygmy. He's big, too. I cannot get over how blue this thing is. That is awesome. And he's got a nice orange stripe, too. Beautiful. 2nd pygmy of the day, and like 5th of the trip, I think. All right, buddy, we'll stay out of the road. Let's see what else we can turn up before the storm hits. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here it comes. The rain that's gonna ruin the rest of the day. At least down here. We're gonna go get some food and try to find somewhere dry. We might head towards home and find somewhere in Georgia where it's not raining yet. All right, guys, so it is big raining over there, but we just cruised our next snake and oh my goodness. That is a hatchling rough green snake. Probably the first one I've ever seen. That is so ridiculous. Look at how tiny it is. That is so insane. I've never seen a baby green snake. I've seen babies, but I've never seen one this small. This is a hatchling, fresh hatchling. That is adorable. Well, this very well might be our last snake in Florida for the trip, but it's a pretty good one if you ask me. We didn't see any of our big targets down here, but we got good numbers and we got to see some pretty interesting stuff. Like, this is my first hatchling green snake, so a couple of firsts, a couple of unusual finds at least. So I'm gonna escort this guy to the other side of the road and we're gonna keep heading out. We might see more stuff on the way, who knows? We'll see. All right, guys, so we just got to the spot we're gonna be cruising in Georgia and have found 2 freshly ran over timber rattlesnakes so far. The wind's blowing, another storm's catching up to us, but we're gonna cruise and see if we can get something before it rains. You're not a snake, but you look like a snake in the road. I'm not sure why you're just hanging out on the road. That's a ground skink. Get out of the road. There we go. Look at this guy. Oh yeah. Look at him with my dad in the background for size reference. Look at this snake. Finally, a big live rattlesnake this trip. It's been a whole lot of little pygmies, as much as I love them. Sometimes you just gotta find a big honking diamondback or canebrake. And that's exactly what that is. Well, if we don't see anything else, that's an awesome way to end the video. Big timber rattlesnake here in South Georgia. All right, guys, so we're just kind of randomly exploring back roads in this area. We've never really been before. We turned up that first timber, 2 dead ones, a dead copperhead, and then we just cruised up on this guy. The second canebrake of the day, and it's a beautiful little neonate. Check this guy out. Absolutely gorgeous little canebrake. Second one of the day. So we got both ends of the size spectrum today. Big and very tiny. This guy's probably only a few weeks old. Alrighty guys, well we just took a few photos of this guy and we're gonna escort him off the road. There's gnats all over me, so I'm flustered, but anyways. Pretty great way to end the video if we don't see anything else. It's very likely we won't because it's starting to get dark and we're on the way home, but anyways, it was a really awesome weekend. I'm glad we got to turn up some rattlesnakes here at the end. I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Hey, we're not done yet. Nice cottonmouth right here. Hello. See that? Or you can pull him out so we can get a better look at him real quick. Oh, it's a good looking one too. Dang, he is not happy either. All right, well, we saw plenty of these in Florida, but nice to get one in Georgia here at the end of the trip. A good gaper. All right, let's get you out of the road. Cruising through some nice habitat on the way home, kind of taking back roads, so maybe we'll see some more snakes, who knows.